Welcome to Monday, August 17th.
It's because of Donald Trump. He likes his tariffs. He hasn't been looking to remove them.
Another meeting, but no details yet. Negotiators are working on a new Canada-U.S. trade deal with the deadline now 2 days away. Some sad news this morning from Hollywood. Actress Hayden Panettiere, dead at the age of 36. Saskatchewan's wildfire season with the SPSA coming up at 6:45. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan on this very odd Monday. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. And yes, what a Monday it is.
The Mondayest of my, you got a fly in your tea.
I did. I made a tea and I looked down into it. Bug.
We got cars breaking down around here. It's just hopefully your Monday's off to a better start. Let's get on to your news headlines. We start with that trade deal. So we're going to be talking about for the next couple of days, just days before President Donald Trump's latest tariff threat is scheduled to hit a wide range of Canadian goods. The minister responsible for negotiations met with his American counterpart Sunday, although not in person. Michael Serapio reports.
Dominic LeBlanc's office describes it as constructive, a 60-minute meeting between the Minister for Canada-U.S. Trade and his American counterpart, Jameson Greer. Virtual, but still a chance to, quote, take stock of where things stand just days before the latest Trump tariffs are scheduled to start.
There's no reason why the Prime Minister can't get a great deal on Wednesday. That's what he promised in the election.
The U.S. wants action on booze, dairy, and U.S. autos. Canada is looking for sectoral relief on lumber, steel, aluminum, and autos, too. But despite Sunday's meeting, sources believe the two sides are still far apart.
It's because of Donald Trump. He likes his tariffs. He hasn't been looking to remove them.
Brian Clow led the Canada-U.S. relations file for Justin Trudeau. And he says for Canadian negotiators, the goal is not zero tariffs, but lower tariffs.
Get the best deal compared to any country in the world.
But if no deal is reached, the U.S. is promising to impose tariffs of 50% on billions of dollars of Canadian exports come Wednesday.
I think that many Canadians, while they would like to continue to maintain the elbows up, would not appreciate what that actually means.
The U.S. trade rep warns Canada against imposing any kind of counter tariff if the new U.S. levies come through. But this member of the Prime Minister's Advisory Council says Canada should not be afraid of fighting back because counter tariffs and the booze boycott had, she says, an effect.
These are the things that got us to a place to be able to now use that leverage to get a better deal.
Now, sources say it's a good sign the U.S. trade rep carved out time for today's meeting. Jameson Greer walking away from his own birthday celebrations with loved ones, but that's still no guarantee the new Trump tariffs can be avoided.
Other news this morning, we're talking of BC wildfires. There are 16 active ones burning in that province.
Crews are making really good progress, both on the northern, eastern, and southern flanks of the fire. The western flank, however, especially up in that northwestern corner, is continuing to challenge crews.
But many in the BC areas around this fire in Summerland told to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. An evacuation order affecting the district of Summerland has been partially downgraded to an alert. The gradual return started on Friday. Summerland Mayor Doug Holmes says the evacuation orders on about 800 more properties were downgraded on Sunday, but officials warn that the situation can change quickly. Montreal police are investigating a suspected femicide in the city, which would be the 12th in 2026 in Quebec.
The 51-year-old man is considered as a suspect right now in this investigation murder. And we now can say that this man was in an intimate partner relationship with the victim.
A murder investigation is underway after a 44-year-old woman was killed in her Saint-Michel apartment. Montreal police were called and asked to make a wellness check at the apartment. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Police also found a 51-year-old man with stab wounds to his upper body. He was taken to hospital in critical condition. Police consider him a suspect. It's a case that has held the attention of law enforcement and devoted fans of rap legend Tupac Shakur for almost 30 years now. And today, opening arguments in the trial of the man accused of masterminding his death expected to start in a Nevada courthouse.
In State versus Davis, C-377-407.
Prosecutors say former alleged gang member Dwayne Kefidi Davis orchestrated the Las Vegas shooting and murder of Tupac Shakur in 1996. It was one of the high-profile deaths in the East-West Coast rap wars of the 90s. Davis is charged with a single count of murder with a deadly weapon, but he has pleaded not guilty. He faces a possible life sentence without parole if convicted. Closer to home, the Al Ritchie neighborhood was on community cleanup Saturday in and around the arena. As a yearly tradition in August, volunteers conducted green space cleanup along with taking items that could go into big red bins. A wood chipper was on hand as well, and clothes were donated.
You get a chance to actually see there's literally racks and racks of clothing. And so we've got winter gear, summer gear, women's, men's, children, babies. We kind of have it all. And right now, the winter gear is the one that a lot of our newcomer families are really sort of aspiring for today. So a lot of them are showing up first year in Canada, sort of saying, hey, I got me and my 3 kids. Everybody's telling us winter is going to be hard. Do you have gear for us? And so they're able to look at whatever we had in stock right now.
Last year, they took in around 10,000 pounds of items placed into red bins. They expect similar this year. Hosted at the First Steps Wellness Center, those in the physical disability community gathered on Saturday to explore services that can be found in and around Saskatchewan. A total of 9 organizations were there. A transition specialist was on site to provide products and services for people with spinal cord injuries, spina bifida, and other neurological conditions.
You see me here, you see my wheelchair, and that's the tip of it, but there are so many other complications and other things that come along with the spinal cord injury, and one of those is your bladder management. So folks with neurological conditions can sometimes lose control of their bladder, and the way that we manage that is with an intermittent catheterization.
Our friends over at Rock 102 are showing off some classic cars.
Yeah, Daryl, hundreds of classic and custom vehicles lining the streets of downtown Saskatoon yesterday. Organizers estimate more than 30,000 people attended the event, which stretched across 14 blocks. More than 40 car clubs participated, billed as one of the largest outdoor car shows in Western Canada. And Rock 102 Morning Show hosts Sherry and Woody broadcast live from the downtown.
My dad actually brought me every year to Show and Shine when I was a kid, so now I'm seeing families pass on that tradition, and I really love it.
This is the 44th year of the Show and Shine Downtown Car Show. Despite being much smaller than it used to be, this year's Saskatoon Folk Fest is being called a success for another year. The 47th annual festival brought 11 cultural pavilions together under one roof at Prairieland Park. Came to a close Saturday night after 2 days of performances, traditional food, and cultural experiences. This year's festival featured 11 pavilions representing Bangladesh, China, India, Iran, Latino, Nepal, Nigeria, Norway, Pakistan, the Philippines, and Vietnam.
All the entertainment going on from yesterday and today was really, really enlightening. Different country, different cultures.
Oh, I really like Folk Fest because it's all the cultures coming together as one, and the performance and the food.
I wasn't sure with it being smaller than some years how it was going to be, but it looks like people are having a good time and actually showing up.
Now, Folk Fest has downsized in recent years, going from having pavilions all over the city to having it all come together under one roof. All right, Daryl, there was more music in Regina this weekend.
All right, Christians gathering this weekend in Wascana Park for Praise in the Park. The day of food and music attracted people from various churches across the city. Annual event held in Wascana Park at the bandstand featured musical groups from Regina and Yorkton.
We've had some groups come from really popular parishes and then some from churches that are kind of newer. So we have the whole genre and different types of music as well. So it's been a really good opportunity to find out kind of what's going on at other places.
Praise in the Park has been a Regina staple since 2014. Saskatoon Berries are your 2026 Western Canadian Baseball League champions. The Berries beat the Sylvan Lake Gulls 11-1 last night to capture their first WCBL crown. The team is only in its third season. 2,579 fans packed the patch to see the team complete the sweep. Ethan Murdoch had a home run and 2 RBIs. Congratulations to them. And we're kicking off this Monday morning with some great news. Punt intended.
And they will. Morneau will run it right into the end zone. Team USA unable to pull the flag. Morneau, as slippery as they come through the defense.
Canada's men's and women's flag football teams have both earned a spot in the 2028 Summer Olympic Games happening in LA. Sport will also be making its debut in just 2 years' time. The men's squad booked its place to the Olympics in the IFAF World Championship Sunday. The women's team had already qualified in their semifinal win against Mexico. It capped off a perfect tournament. Congratulations to them. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Kayleen Sawatsky, great day to go out and play some flag football today.
Well, not bad. We're still below that seasonal average, but we are going to be seeing a lot of sunshine in the province today. About a 30% chance of Regina seeing some very light drizzle into the mid-afternoon. Again, that's going to be likely less than 1 millimeter, so we're not too worried about that system if it does roll through. This morning view, though, is brought to you by Stars Lottery, your ticket fund's life-saving care across Saskatchewan. 9 degrees to wake us up, so we're still in single digits, a little bit chilly right now. Winds only coming in at 9 kilometers per hour with mainly sunny skies. In Saskatoon, 8 degrees, winds coming in at 9 kilometers per hour and mainly sunny skies. So very similar conditions to wake us up in both cities. The winds will be going up slightly into the afternoon, more so through areas around Prince Albert and Hudson Bay, not so much down south though. Here's a look at that radar and satellite. So clearly we did get some precipitation late yesterday into those overnight and early morning hours, but this morning it's looking pretty clear. You can see just west of Saskatoon, we do have a very small system making its way in from Alberta. So a little bit of rain coming in. Into the early to mid-afternoon, we do see that tracking down towards the east, or southeast rather, bringing some rain to the southwest corner of the province, and there is where we say about a 30% chance of that reaching Regina. So you can see it's right around Regina, but it almost seems like it's trying its best to avoid actually going right over top of the city. So again, about a 30% chance. We're seeing that system really diminishing as it heads right over top of Estevan into the evening hours tonight. And then it's fully off into the United States into those early morning hours tomorrow. Overnight, not really seeing a whole lot. Tomorrow afternoon, seeing a very small system bringing a chance of some very light drizzle around Saskatoon. And then into the evening hours, a little bit more up north. Let's talk about temperatures, though, because they do remain below that seasonal average today, although those averages are going down as we creep our way towards September. The average now is between 24 to 25 degrees, so just barely below those seasonal averages. 23 for Swift Current today, 23 in Moose Jaw, 23 in Weyburn. Again, you're seeing that chance of some rain. Very small chance of seeing some thunderstorms. Don't worry too much about that. 23 in Estevan today, 20 degrees in Yorkton, 21 for both Regina and Saskatoon. Also joining those major cities at 21 degrees will be Prince Albert and the Battlefords. Our 5-day forecast looking like temperatures will be going back up in the coming days, though. So Tuesday up to 25, Wednesday up to 29. In Saskatoon, we're seeing Tuesday up to 25 and Wednesday up to 28. Thursday and Friday leveling off to about 25 degrees.
A recent study of nearly 10,000 women aged 65 and older suggests that tea drinkers may have a slightly higher bone density than those who don't drink tea. The study, published in the journal Nutrients, also found that moderate coffee intake does not seem to help or hurt bone health, but drinking 5 cups or more a day weakened bones. Experts say regardless of which hot beverage you enjoy, that's only one small piece of the bone health puzzle. Prioritize getting enough calcium and vitamin D, especially if you're a woman past menopause. Good sources of calcium include dairy products, tofu, salmon, and almonds. For vitamin D, include eggs and dairy in your diet and spend some time outdoors every day. Weight-bearing activities like walking, jogging, and stair climbing can also keep bones strong. Taking care of your bones is an important way to avoid serious falls and fractures, especially as you age. With this Medical Minute, I'm Alex Stone.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
Well, the historic Roxy Theater in LA is home to the perfect film festival.
It's a series of videos that feature cats in humorous situations. It's just nonstop laughter, and for those of us who are devoted to cats, it's just a really fun way to spend an evening.
Sounds like Cat Video Fest 2026 was a meowing success.
There you go. That's good.
Actual tours around a number of theaters in North America. It's curated by founder Will Braden, who says his goal is to offer something audiences can't find enough of on social media. And it's also meant to be more than just cats. It's about community.
Of course. Look at these silly cats. This is most of a recap of what used to be Morning Smile and is now Sidebar.
This is basically what used to be on America's Funniest Home Videos.
Oh, I miss America's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, with the Bob Saget voice over time. Good stuff.
All right, so we're asking you today on this National Thrift Shop Day, what's one thing you would love to find while thrifting? Do you
Macklemore. Hey,
that's a good answer.
Always says he's thrifting.
Yeah. Jeremy, do you have that one item that you think, oh, I'd love to find that?
I mean, yeah, I don't go thrifting nearly as much as I would like, but I would like to get an original Nintendo and just the box, just to put it on the shelf. It's kind of memento to my childhood and maybe a talking point.
So
just the box.
You just want the box, not the system.
Well, I can play all those games now in different ways. I wouldn't play it on.
Listen,
I'd have to find a way to hook that old thing up to my new TV.
Yes. Okay. So I actually asked on Friday, just on Friday, I said, "Hey, does anybody have one of those VHS TVs?"
Yeah.
And I actually had multiple people write in that they did. I did end up getting one. Thank you so much to everybody who wrote me, though.
See? So
what a big success.
You could have an NES box in your future. Throw up the QR code. Let's find out what other people are after. Scan that. We'll have more on the other side of this short break.
It's time for your Monday morning weather or not. Today's question is, what is the coldest country in the world? We are taking it a little easy on you today. So we're asking you, is it Canada, Mongolia, Iceland, Russia, or Norway? What do you think?
Knee-jerk reaction, I think Mother Russia. What do you think?
I would say as well, because that's why Siberia is, right?
And that's what I'm thinking.
All right.
Although part of me wants to say Norway because I'm Norwegian.
Your correct answer is Russia. See, it was easy for you today. The 1999 dissolution of the Soviet Union, formerly the second coldest country, enabled Russia to move ahead of Canada as the world's coldest country. So now you know.
Congratulations to them.
And just as a little fun fact for you, Russia's average temperature year-round is minus 5.3 degrees Celsius, while Canada's is minus 3.6. However, where most Canadians live along the southern border, the average annual temperature is about 8 degrees to 11 degrees Celsius.
That's a weather specialist for you.
Right there.
Escalating tensions in the Middle East again as fighting between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah flared up in Lebanon. This escalation is expected to complicate negotiations and peace efforts between the U.S. and Iran as the 60-day truce comes to an end today without a deal on the Strait of Hormuz. The price of Brent crude has gained more than 5% since the start of last week to more than $88 a barrel as the prospects further dimmed for a swift reopening of Hormuz, through which a fifth of the world's oil and gas transited before the war. Technology stocks lifted global equities after stellar revenue growth at Anthropic PBC bolstered the view that massive spending on artificial intelligence will be sustained. Fresh evidence of surging demand for the technology came after Claude chatbot maker Anthropic, which told prospective investors its second quarter revenue jumped at least 14-fold from the same period in 2025. And market expectations for further tightening are building around the world. world, spelling trouble for bonds as traders see borrowing costs rising faster in Japan, Canada, the Eurozone and the UK than in the US over the next year. Central banks are facing overlapping pressures from higher oil prices, heavy government spending and an AI investment boom that's supercharging growth, leading to inflation across countries in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development hitting a 2-year high. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Akshay Tandon.
Taking a look now at our national forecast. A pleasant day over in Vancouver today, 23 with mainly sunny skies. Calgary up to 25. A little bit more rain in Edmonton today, though, 23. And 23 in Winnipeg today. Also expecting to see just a little bit of rain this afternoon. In Toronto, 26 degrees. Ottawa, 24. Montreal, 26. Fredericton with some rain, 20 degrees. Up to 22 in Halifax with mainly cloudy skies. Also seeing that cloud cover over in St. John's today, 18 degrees. As we go to break, here is a look at your gas prices. In Regina, your average price is $164.9 today. You could find it for as low as $151.9. In Saskatoon, we're seeing an average price of $168.9. You could find it for as low as $154.9. In the farm markets, we find the street price of canola at $766.95 per ton. The futures price $8.20 even. Amber Durham wheat at $272.48 per ton, and red spring wheat $281.71 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is down. It's now at 71.75 cents US. And in about 10 minutes, an update on Saskatchewan's wildfire season. Stay with us.
So good morning. It is 6:30. U.S. President Donald Trump's Middle East envoy, Jared Kushner, is in Israel this morning and is expected to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister. The meeting comes after Kushner met with Hamas in Egypt to discuss implementing his country's Gaza peace plan. Last month, Trump's Board of Peace said it had reached an agreement for the complete disarmament of Hamas, but last week Israel rejected the 15-point plan. It also called for Israel to withdraw from Gaza and for Gaza to be rebuilt under a new civilian Palestinian administration. 8 countries, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, Pakistan, Turkey, Indonesia, Qatar, and the UAE have issued a statement condemning Israel's rejection. The premiers of Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador are expected to announce a critical energy deal later today.
Newfoundland and Labrador to turn the page on a good 70-odd years of having the short stick.
Widely expected the announcement will bring an end to the long-standing dispute over the Churchill Falls power plant. Prime Minister Mark Carney will be at the announcement in St. John's as well, with his office describing it as an announcement regarding energy security and economic development. The provinces have been negotiating a deal to share energy from the Churchill River in Labrador. The new deal is expected to replace the current agreement, which runs until 2041. Under that deal, Quebec pays Newfoundland and Labrador 0.2 cents per kilowatt hour and sells it at a higher price. Police continue to investigate an incident at Regina's Cornwall Centre over the weekend. It began as a weapons call on Saturday afternoon, and police say it turned out to be cap guns. It happened just before 5:30 p.m. Police say that investigation is ongoing. A man who became trapped in a grating in a large drainage pipe in Saskatoon's Silverwood Dog Park Friday night had to be rescued. Saskatoon crews were called to the area of the former entrance to the dog park around 8 o'clock Friday night for a report of a man trapped in a grating in the large drainage pipe. Crews set up rope systems to help lift the man out. The man was turned over to Medivy paramedics for treatment. Much of the northern area of the dog park is an open excavation site right now, with the construction underway repairing 2 underground pipelines in the area. People from across Saskatchewan celebrated the Threshing Bee in the town of Kipling, Saskatchewan. For the very first year at the museum, the community hosted a threshing day featuring tractors, historical buildings, and a 1921 wood threshing machine that recently was restored, harvesting wheat for the first time in 90 years.
I think it's a really good turnout. People were happy to be here. People drove for miles. Some people drove. Like, there are different threshing bees around the countryside now, and they go to those kinds of things.
With hundreds of people attending the event, they hope to make it an annual event. That little tractor is a lot of fun. There is shock and sadness in the entertainment world this morning with news that Hayden Panettiere has died. She was 36 years young. She was best known for her TV roles in the series like Small Nashville and Heroes. Panettiere also appeared in the Scream movies, 2 of them. She released a memoir earlier this year sharing her battles with addiction and depression. Panettiere's father announced her death late last night. No cause has been given yet. Now 2 powerful storms in the Midwest and Hawaii in the States. Sophie Flay with that.
This morning, communities in the Midwest devastated by deadly flooding after days of relentless rain. In hard-hit Indiana, at least 7 people were killed, including a 4-year-old.
I've never seen it flood so much as it has here lately.
Across the state, raging floodwaters washing out roads, submerging cars, and reaching the roofs of homes. In the city of Carmel, new drone video showing this bridge ripped apart. Dozens of people had to be rescued, including this family in Indianapolis. The powerful storms also brought winds reaching 100 miles per hour, downing trees and power lines. It comes as another round of severe weather slams the region, stretching from Missouri to Virginia. Lightning striking in eastern Ohio. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, tropical storm Lala battering Hawaii after brushing the Big Island as a hurricane. Lala bringing torrential rain, life-threatening surf, and damaging winds. Some areas have been inundated with nearly 3 feet of rain. Officials say more than 100 structures were destroyed or damaged. Some homes swept off their foundations.
We will have long-standing road challenges, bridge challenges, access issues for residents that might be isolated.
2 paramedics had to be rescued after their truck became stranded by rapidly rising waters on the Big Island. Members of the Hawaii National Guard rushing in to pull them to safety. Overnight, more than 160,000 customers were without power. Officials say the outages could last weeks or even months in the hardest hit areas. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Time Major League pitcher Tommy John has died at 83. John was known as the Bionic Man, and he played 26 seasons, believe it or not, between 1963 and 1989. In 1974, he tore the UCL in his pitching arm, and he allowed the Dodgers team doctor to replace it with one from his right arm. He came back better than ever, winning more games than he did before the surgery that's now made him famous, sir. More famous, not famous, sir, that's not a word. Saskatoon's Carter Beck already making an impact for the Braves organization.
Cracked out to deep center field. That's over to Bronshead. That ball is gone!
Check that out. The 26th overall selection by the Atlanta Braves hit his first home run in professional baseball as a member of the Augusta Green Jackets. It was a 3-run blast to center, and the team picked up a 9-6 win over the Charleston River Dogs. The Green Jackets are the Single-A affiliate of the Braves. Can't miss video from the Special Olympics golf. Team Saskatchewan's Taylor Carter from Regina on the par 3 16. Then this happens. Carter jars it from 135 yards out for the hole-in-one. Check out the reaction. Carter's caddy, his nephew Ashton, celebrates before he even does. Carter sends the 9-iron flying into the air. It's what a celebration. Takes off down the course. He won gold for Canada in the 2023 Special Olympics in Berlin. Nothing but love for Taylor on the course in Medicine Hat. Congratulations to all the fine athletes who competed over the course of the weekend. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Good day for golf today?
Yeah, not bad. We do have a low chance of seeing some very light drizzle in Regina today and other parts of central and southern Saskatchewan. It's not going to be a whole lot of rain though. Right now we're registering that at coming in with about just under a millimeter of rain. So it's just going to be a very light drizzle. 9 degrees though still. So it's not exactly the warmest start to the day. Winds coming in at 9 kilometers per hour. We are seeing a lot of sunshine though. In Saskatoon, 8 degrees still. Winds also coming in at 9 kilometers per hour with mainly sunny skies. Here's a look at at where we will be seeing those winds going up, though, right around Prince Albert, Hudson Bay, Yorkton, and then into the later parts of the afternoon, right along that border in the southwest corner of the province with the United States. So we could be seeing some winds up to about 35 to 40 kilometers per hour. Other than that, if you're joining us this morning from the Battlefords, Kindersley, even Saskatoon, winds aren't going to be going up all too much this afternoon. A lot of places still in the single digits to start the day, including Stony Rapids, La Ronge, and Prince Albert at 9 degrees. 4 degrees, though, in Spiritwood. That is the cold spot this hour. 8 degrees in Melfort. Down in the south, seeing 8 degrees in the Battlefords, along with Saskatoon and Assiniboia, 9 degrees in Moose Jaw and Swift Current right now. Weyburn as well at 9 degrees and 11 degrees in Estevan. So it's not exactly the warmest start to the day in the province today as we are getting closer to September. We will have some warmer temperatures on the way in the coming days, but today is still below the seasonal average. Again, seeing that chance of some rain today. 23 degrees in Swift Current, 23 in Moose Jaw, and 23 in Weyburn, 20 degrees in Yorkton, 23 in Estevan. Still seeing about a 30% chance of seeing some very light rain. It's going to be passing rather quickly, though. 21 in Regina, 21 in Saskatoon, the Battlefords, and Prince Albert. Now here's a look at that almanac. So we said below the seasonal average. These averages have actually gone down in the coming days. In the past few days, rather. The average in Regina is 25.6 degrees. 24.7 is the average in Saskatoon. The last year temperature on this day, August 17th, was 20.2 in Regina and 24.0 in Saskatoon. Record was in 1920. That was 36.1, and that was for Regina. In Saskatoon, the record rather was 1949, and that was 36.1. 7-day forecast, as we mentioned, temperatures will be going back up. So when we were seeing some cooler temperatures for the past week or so, that is all about to change. The sunshine is on the way with warmer temperatures up to 29 degrees by Wednesday in Regina and up to 28 degrees by Wednesday in Saskatoon.
643, lithium-ion batteries power everything from e-bikes to patio lanterns, though they're now being blamed for powering fires across the country. Adrian Gabriel with warnings from fire officials nationwide.
Putting a dangerous charge into fires. Lithium batteries used to power electric bikes, e-scooters, and a long list of products are in part being blamed for powering infernos across the country. In Toronto alone this year, there's been roughly 80 fires linked to lithium-ion batteries.
That's an increase of 35%. That also includes 14 injuries and 2 fatalities.
The unsafe handling as well as cheap, unregulated batteries pouring into Canada are sparking concern, according to Toronto's fire chief.
You could go on eBay or any type of shopping online system right now and order batteries that we have no idea how they're tested. We have no idea what standard they meet.
Now, this is a lithium battery used by all of our camera crews. It has the markings that shows that it meets international standards as well as Canadian safety requirements. Now, following a lithium fire in the apartment building right behind me here in Toronto this week, area residents say that new laws are needed.
It shouldn't happen, but I mean, it's going to unless the government takes action and stops these bikes from being in apartments.
We've noted upwards of 10 additional e-bikes and mobile devices in that unit alone.
Transport Canada regulates the labeling and handling of lithium batteries, though Health Canada recently completed a public consultation. In an email to CTV News, a Health Canada spokesperson shares that there was broad support for the introduction of mandatory safety requirements. The Public Health Agency is now determining next steps to address the safety of lithium-ion batteries sold in Canada, including a possible regulatory proposal. In Ontario, the Office of the Fire Marshal oversees fire safety codes.
We need the federal government to come to the table to work collaboratively with us, and we need the Fire Marshal's Office of Ontario to work with us to look at potential amendments to the fire code.
Following a fire on board a Toronto subway sparked by an e-bike's lithium battery, the micromobility devices are now banned from TTC property each winter when it's believed the batteries are even more volatile.
Here in Toronto, the fire chief has called lithium batteries one of the greatest dangers to public safety until new regulations are rolled out. He believes that the potential danger will remain in place. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
This golden item has just sold at auction for a pretty penny. Do you recognize this purse? If you don't, it's the one that Estelle Getty held on to in various scenes of Golden Girls. It's expected to sell for about $15,000 at auction. Ended up going for $192,000. Yikes. You may not know this, but armadillos, really cute. There are two that live at the Toronto Zoo, which showed off their unique style over the weekend for National Armadillo Day. Yes, that's the thing. There are two species of armadillo. One is the screaming hairy armadillo, who let out a loud squeal when they're threatened. The other is the three-banded armadillo you probably think of. They roll up into a ball when they're scared.
Hello, Team Matt Scooby in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For it, we head to Memphis in the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. That's where Scotty Scheffler putting on a putting clinic at that too. 6-hole Sunday, 20-foot birdie try, gonna drain it, drop side door, won by a season best 8 strokes, never really challenged. His final round masterpiece earns him his 21st PGA Tour victory and earns him the must-see moment from Sunday. On TSN tonight, we have Major League Baseball action for you. The Tigers taking on the Pirates. Coverage gets underway at 6 p.m. Central. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Now we swing over to Papiaco Plaza, where Janelle Lippi is attempting to swap 2 left feet for some serious rhythm with the pros at Dance with Nikki. Janelle.
Good morning. Let's see if you can hear me now. We've got a very exciting morning ahead of us, and I've got Nikki here with me. Nikki, we're going to learn some dance moves coming up. But before we get into that, tell me a little bit about how you got started.
Oh, actually, I got started because of Dancing with the Stars. So I joined Regina Ballroom Dance Club. And then from there, it just kind of expanded into the whole country dance world.
All right. So there's a long history then of dancing that got you into it. Now tell me a little bit about the company. How can people sign up?
So Dance with Nikki is one of my companies, and it's more of a event-based thing. So you hire me, we come out, and we do line dancing or country swing or something at your events just to make it a little bit more fun. I also have Prairie Skies Country Dance, which is essentially the same thing, but we host a lot of socials at restaurants. And then we're going to have a big festival on November 14th where we bring in instructors from across Canada, and they teach us all the country dances that we want to learn.
This is very exciting stuff. So now, of course, the moment that you have all been waiting for. Let's bring in our other dancers and let's learn some moves here. What are we doing first?
The classic grapevine. Everyone has to know how to do this to do line dance, so we're going to start with that.
All right, let's get grooving. What are we doing here? How are we standing?
Just like this.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to take a first step to the right. So we're going to take a step to the right. We're going to bring our left foot behind. And we're going to take a step to the right again. And then we're going to tap our feet together. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the left side. So we're going to step out left, behind with our right, out to the left, and then tap with our right. And that's a grapevine.
I'm feeling good about that. Should we speed it up a little bit?
Let's do it. Okay. Are we ready?
Ready.
6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow. Okay. So funny enough, we were talking earlier about how I did take dance classes many years ago, and I'm still, not very gifted in it. But I feel great about that, Nikki. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was great. You did a very good job.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to ride this high. I will be back in about an hour. We've got some more moves to show off.
August 17th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated happy birthday going out to Bryce. He turned 8 years old over the weekend. Lots of love from your family. And on Saturday, Kirsten was celebrating her birthday. We hope that was a great day for you. Lots of love from Colin and the kids, Jackson and Cameron.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Tell us what's going on the radio this week, Chase.
Well, after that Macklin Celebrini card sold for over $1 million this weekend. We're looking back at some of the stuff you had growing up. Maybe it was hockey cards, a different collection, or something you played with all the time that you wish you kept mint and pristine and in its boxing that you could have sold for millions of dollars. Now you can text over to 54321. Speaking of big paydays, big prize days, it's your final week to get to Nashville Ryman Auditorium to see Cameron Whitcomb. If you haven't yet, download the iHeartRadio app. Be listening for 10 straight minutes. You'll be prompted to enter, but it is your final week to do so.
And good luck to everybody listening and watching. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Daryl.
It appears we're faced with a threat we can't control. One we can't even see.
Spider-Man's the top dog at the box office for a third straight week, pulling in $70 million and crossing the $2 billion mark. The Odyssey came in second with $23 million, and The End of Oak Street debuted in third place with $21 million. We got a huge set of casting announcement and a release date for Marvel's upcoming X-Men movie. Christopher Abbott will play Professor X, Maya Boyd will play Storm, and Indy Navarrete will play Rogue. Adam Driver will star as the villain, Mr. Sinister. The movie slated to release in May 2028. And happy birthday to Elvis star Austin Butler. He's 35 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Some people think water is tasteless, while others have a personal preference when given a choice.
Like that one either.
Do they all taste different? So this is Amelia. She is a self-proclaimed water snob and will only drink filtered tap water from her house. This taste test proves just that. After sampling 5 different other brands, she keeps going back to her favorite, tap water with ice. And I know you're probably thinking this is just what she's used to. Her house water is her favorite. You taste it different. No, this girl, I read all the comments and the mom was responding saying they have a specific filter until Amelia was pleased with what she was tasting.
Wow.
Waters have different flavors.
It's not what I was thinking, Jeremy. I was thinking that we used to drink water from the hose and we're still here. Tastes just fine.
Yeah.
They have
we're
different
thriving
tastes.
even.
Do you think water has different tastes though? Different brands?
Oh yeah.
Big
time.
Yeah, but
maybe not big time, but yes,
water's
a little
water.
bit.
No, I think they taste different.
All right. Well, a luxury in life is when you can source out chores like cleaning or, in this case, gardening. For 9 years, they can finally afford their own gardener because it's their daughter. She's real pleased, too.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah, I've seen this also with parents saying, oh, after 16 years, I can finally afford my own personal driver. It's their kid getting their license.
Cannot wait. It's Monday, August 17th.
There's also a big push to not simply cave in. The price of certainty can't exceed the cost of uncertainty.
Another meeting, no details yet. Negotiators working on a new Canada-U.S. trade deal.
Lots of experts have kind of looked at Churchill Falls as, one of the most significant untapped sustainable power sources in North America.
Major announcement, the Prime Minister in St. John's today with the premiers of Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador, where they're expected to announce a new deal on energy from Churchill Falls. And some sad news this morning. Actress Hayden Panettiere, dead at the age of 36. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Monday.
And congratulations to the fans of the Saskatoon Berries waking up WCBL champions this morning. Going to be a little bit of a groggy group.
Yeah, a lot of excitement there, though. Big congratulations.
Your Okotoks Dogs did not
I know.
Get the job done.
But they usually do really well. So congratulations to my beloved Okotoks Dogs.
My Brooks Bombers, we're just happy if we win a game. 7:01, let's get to the playoffs. We're talking about practice. Trade negotiators are working up to the wire to reach a new deal before that tariff hits on Wednesday.
Canadians, while they would like to continue to maintain the elbows up, would not appreciate what that actually means.
Canada's top trade negotiators spent the weekend in Washington. Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Chief Negotiator Janice Charette met with U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer. They held a virtual meeting because yesterday was actually Greer's birthday. Many experts say the two sides are still pretty far apart, and the Globe and Mail is reporting tariffs on lumber and autos are the main sticking points. If no deal is reached by Wednesday, the U.S. has promised 50% tariffs on billions of dollars of Canadian exports. No word on whether Canada would implement any retaliatory measures. There are currently 16 active wildfires burning in this province, but in BC, many evacuees are now allowed to return home in Summerland, but still have to be ready to go at a moment's notice.
We're making really good progress both on the northern, eastern, and southern flanks of the fire. The western flank, however, especially up in that northwestern corner, is continuing to challenge crews.
Evacuation order affecting the district of Summerland has been partially downgraded to an alert for the area east of Highway 97 and Trout Creek neighborhood. The gradual return started Friday. The mayor of the community, Doug Holmes, says evacuation orders on about 800 more properties were downgraded on Sunday. But officials warned that the situation can change quickly and that everyone still needs to be on alert. Air quality remains a huge concern for many areas of the province. There are orange air quality warnings in the Fraser Canyon and Okanagan. The province says N95 respiratory masks are available and free for some in the interior. More than 150,000 customers are still without power in Hawaii this morning in the wake of Tropical Storm Lala. At least 100 homes have been damaged or lost because of powerful winds and flooding. The storm's eye wall never made landfall, but some areas still got nearly a meter of rain. Officials say some homes have been swept off their foundations, prompting search and rescue operations. At least one person has died after a car accident during the storm on Saturday night. It's a case that has held the attention of law enforcement and devoted fans of rap legend Tupac Shakur for almost 30 years. Today, opening arguments in the trial of the man accused of masterminding his death expected to start in Nevada.
On record in State versus Davis, C-377-407.
Prosecutors say former alleged gang member Dwayne Keefe D. Davis orchestrated the Las Vegas shooting and murder of Shakur in 1996. It was one of the high-profile deaths in the East-West Coast rap wars during the 90s. Davis is charged with a single count of murder with a deadly weapon, but he has pleaded not guilty, faces a possible life sentence without parole if convicted. In Winnipeg, a growing number of vacant homes has some raising concern about fire risk. Alex Carper reports.
You can see it's burned up out there.
Sel Burrows says he's seeing a growing number of homes become vacant or boarded up in his Winnipeg neighborhood, and says a lack of investment in repairing abandoned properties in the inner city is making the problem worse. Many of these structures have been damaged or destroyed by fire, often started by people seeking shelter in vacant homes. He believes repairing these homes and turning them into affordable, low-income rentals could help prevent fires by giving people safe places to live.
For $25,000, $50,000 grants to some of these owners, we could get these places back, providing low-cost rental housing.
The City of Winnipeg says they are pushing enforcement on landlords in over 800 vacant properties, the majority of which are residential units. The city has also increased taxes on vacant properties and introduced stricter requirements to deter vacancy.
Yeah, so this is just totally unacceptable.
But a local neighborhood association says that doesn't go far enough.
We have a plan to go ahead, and if the houses are plowed down, can't be fixed, let's plow them down, get new houses in their place.
Winnipeg is piloting a program that sells select vacant lots to nonprofit social enterprises to use the land to build affordable homes for low-income families. Project lead Sherry Bailey says 3 homes have been built with another 5 scheduled.
What we are trying to do is develop a workforce and provide opportunities for people facing barriers to employment. And in doing that, we're building affordable homes.
Burrows wants to see more commitment from the city.
All it takes is more energy and more commitment to action rather than avoiding it.
Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Police continue to investigate an incident at Regina's Cornwall Centre this weekend that began as a weapons call on Saturday, and police say it turned out to be cap guns. Happened just before 5:30 p.m. There was a secure the building mode in effect for a bit of time. Police say that investigation is ongoing. People from across Saskatchewan celebrated a threshing bee in the town of Kipling for the very first year at the museum. They do this in southern Alberta a bunch. These are fun. The community hosted a threshing day featuring tractors, historical buildings, and a 1921 wood threshing machine that was recently restored, harvesting wheat for the first time in, get this, 90 years.
I think it's a really good turnout. People were happy to be here. People drove for miles. Some people drove. Like, there are different threshing bees around the countryside now, and they go to those kinds of things.
Hundreds of people attended. They're hoping to make it an annual event. Our friends over at Rock 102, they don't just spin the classics this weekend, they were helping show them off.
Right, hundreds of classic and custom vehicles lining the streets of downtown Saskatoon yesterday. It is show and shine time again. Organizers estimate more than 30,000 people attended the event, which stretched across 14 blocks. More than 40 car clubs participated in the event, billed as one of the largest outdoor car shows in Western Canada. Our Rock 102 morning show host Sherry and Woody broadcast live from downtown.
My dad actually brought me every year to Show and Shine when I was a kid, so now I'm seeing families pass on that tradition, and I really love it.
This is the 44th year for Show and Shine's downtown car show. And despite being much smaller than it used to be, this year's Saskatoon Folk Fest is being called a success for another year. The 47th annual festival brought 11 cultural pavilions together under one roof at Prairieland Park. Came to a close Saturday night after 2 days of performances, traditional food, and cultural experiences. This year's festival featured 11 pavilions representing Bangladesh, China, India, Iran, Latino, Nepal, Nigeria, Norway, Pakistan, the Philippines, and Vietnam.
All the entertainment going on from yesterday and today was really, really enlightening. Different country, different cultures.
Oh, I really like Focus because it's all the cultures coming together as one, and the performance and the food.
I wasn't sure with it being smaller than some years how it was going to be, but it looks like people are having a good time and actually showing up.
Now, Folk Fest has downsized in recent years, going from having pavilions right across the city to having it all under one roof. All right, Daryl, it was an historic weekend for the Saskatoon Berries.
They are the 2026 Western Canadian Baseball League champions. The Berries beat the Sylvan Lake Gulls 11-1 last night to capture their first WCBL crown. It's the third season for this team. My goodness. 2,579 fans is what they tell us packed the patch to see the team complete the sweep. Congratulations to them. Ethan Murdoch, by the way, had a home run and 2 RBIs. Speaking of the Berries, one of their alum doing some big things, Saskatoon's Carter Beck, already making an impact for the Atlanta Braves organization.
Cracked out to deep center field. That's over to Brunshead. That ball is gone!
The 13th overall selection by the Atlanta Braves hit his first home run in professional baseball as a member of the Augusta Green Jackets. It was a 3-run blast to center, and the team picked up a 9-6 win over the Charleston River Dogs. The Green Jackets are the single-A affiliate of the Braves, so he's on his way. Canada's men's and women's flag football teams both have a spot in the 2028 Summer Olympic Games in L.A.
Well, from Morneau, will run it right into the end zone. Team USA unable to pull the flag. Morneau, as slippery as they come through the defense. O'Connor.
The sport will also be making its debut in 2 years' time. The men's squad booked its place at the Olympics at the IFAF World Championships on Sunday. The women's team had already qualified with a win over Mexico. They capped a perfect tournament with a 27-20 win over the U.S. in the finals for the world title. Congratulations to them. Let's get over to the Weather Center and check out that morning view.
Yeah, and it's brought to you by Stars Lottery, your ticket fund's life-saving care across Saskatchewan. It's been a pretty mild start to the day, really across the province, but at least now in Regina, we're into the double-digit temperatures, 11 degrees. We are seeing some more cloud right now and a little bit of fog compared to what we were seeing last hour, so that's been moving in. Winds have gone up, but only slightly, now coming in at 13 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, again, increasing cloud cover over the past hour, 9 degrees still, though, winds very calm, only coming in at 4 kilometers per hour. Those aren't really going to be increasing too much for Saskatoon and Regina this afternoon, but there are some areas around Prince Albert and Hudson Bay where we could be seeing those winds increasing up to about 35 to 40 kilometers per hour. We also saw some active weather overnight. As you can see, it started late yesterday evening, and again, we did get a little bit of rain throughout all the portions of the province, north, central, and southern Saskatchewan. This morning, things are looking pretty mild. We see a very small spot right around Swift Current there, and we also have a system moving in from Alberta. It's not a large system by any means, but it is going to be spreading across the southwest corner of the province into the early to mid-afternoon hours. We have about a 30% chance of getting some very light drizzle in the mid-afternoon in Regina today, so be prepared for that. Again, it's not going to be a whole lot, though. We're still looking right around 1 millimeter of rain coming along with this system, so we're not too worried about it. Into overnight and early tomorrow, things do clear out a lot. Just a little bit of cloud cover still impacting the province, and a very small system moving into right around Saskatoon early tomorrow afternoon. It's not for sure, though, that we're going to be seeing that rain. Some more rain into northern Saskatchewan, though, by tomorrow evening. Today's forecast with that rain through the southwest, about 22 degrees for Swift Current and Moose Jaw, 24 in Weyburn, 23 in Estevan, 21 for Regina today, and 21 for Saskatoon, 21 in the Battlefords and Prince Albert as well. Less of a chance of seeing some rain there, though, compared to the southwest corner of the province. 20 degrees in Yorkton with that mix of sun and cloud. And things are improving as we look forward to our 5-day forecast, especially by Wednesday. That's when we're going to be seeing the peak for our work week in terms of that temperature. 29 degrees with mainly sunny skies, 26 on Thursday and 25 on Friday. So we're leveling out to those seasonal averages. In Saskatoon, 25 degrees tomorrow with that sunshine, 28 by Wednesday. So again, Wednesday is the day we'll be peaking with those temperatures. And then again, leveling back down to 25 degrees for Thursday and Friday. Taking a look at our rural forecast now, still below that seasonal average, but a lot of sunshine on the way, especially for central Saskatchewan. 21 degrees in Lloydminster today, 20 degrees in Spiritwood, 21 in Watrous. A little bit of rain, though, reaching outlook at 22 degrees. More of that rain expected through the far southwest corner of the province, so 23 in East End, 26 in Maple Creek. We do see the risk of some very light thunderstorms also there, 21 in Rosetown, 21 in Pilot Butte, mainly cloudy skies today, and 21 in Carlisle with a little bit more sunshine through the southeast. Let's take a look at La Flèche, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. 24 degrees this afternoon. We do have a chance of rain, risk of some thunderstorms, and winds coming in up to 30 kilometers per hour.
Hello, Team Matt Scooby in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Sunday. For it, we head to Memphis in the final round of the FedEx St. Jude Championship. That's where Scotty Scheffler putting on a putting clinic at that too. 6-hole Sunday, 20-foot birdie try, gonna drain it, drop side door, won by a season best 8 strokes, never really challenged. His final round masterpiece earns him his 21st PGA Tour victory and earns him the must-see moment from Sunday. On TSN tonight, we have Major League Baseball action for you. The Tigers taking on the Pirates. Coverage gets underway at 6 p.m. Central. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
Job opening that does not come open too often. So that's Summer Gallant, a professional town crier in Riverview, New Brunswick. She became the new town crier in April after winning a competition, but there's a much bigger role coming up. Gallant will be taking part in the World Town Crier competition in Chester, England. If you didn't know that was a real thing, it is. She's one of 25 applicants accepted. She'll find out in September if she is an international crier.
Okay, I didn't know this was a job option. I would be a really good town crier.
Jeremy on the banks of the mighty South Saskatchewan.
It's like the predecessor to our broadcasting jobs, right?
Yeah.
We would all kick this job's butt.
I agree.
Gotta be. I like the costume. Should we should we change our attire?
Nice.
Yeah, tomorrow when the weather's sunshine, I'll be ringing the bell.
Rather than speaking normally, we'll say, hear ye, hear ye. Let's get to our question of the day.
So we're asking you today on this National Thrift Shop Day, what's one thing you would love to find while thrifting? Our text lines weren't exactly popping off this morning. We only had the one answer coming through. It was from Lois. She said, I had a crystal gravy ladle that broke, and so I've been searching at thrift stores for a few years. That would be my special find. I also have to mention, because I didn't mention it last hour, now that I have that VHS TV that I did mention.
Now you need tapes.
Well, I did get a few VHS tapes from some thrift stores over the weekend, but there is one in particular. My favorite when I was a kid, it was Alvin and the Chipmunks, but it was a version of Robo-Monk. It was like a RoboCop spoof.
This is what this show is going to become. It's going to be just Kayleen asking viewers for stuff.
No.
That's going to be like...
No. Can you look in your basement for this?
We're going to rename this segment. It's no longer going to be question today. It's going to be, what does Kayleen need?
This is perfect, actually. Thank you so much. But no, I am looking for Robo-Monk specifically on VHS.
Now she thinks it's a thing. It's going to become a thing.
It worked for me on Friday.
Business news after this.
Escalating tensions in the Middle East again as fighting between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah flared up in Lebanon. This escalation is expected to complicate negotiations and peace efforts between the U.S. and Iran as the 60-day truce comes to an end today without a deal on the Strait of Hormuz. The price of Brent crude has gained more than 5% since the start of last week to more than $88 a barrel as the prospects further dimmed for a swift reopening of Hormuz, through which a fifth of the world's oil and gas transited before the war. Technology stocks lifted global equities after stellar revenue growth at Anthropic PBC bolstered the view that massive spending on artificial intelligence will be sustained. Fresh evidence of surging demand for the technology came after Claude chatbot maker Anthropic, which told prospective investors its second quarter revenue jumped at least 14-fold from the same period in 2025. And market expectations for further tightening are building around the world, spelling trouble for bonds as traders see borrowing costs rising faster in Japan, Canada, the Eurozone and the UK than in the US over the next year. Central banks are facing overlapping pressures from higher oil prices, heavy government spending and an AI investment boom that's supercharging growth, leading to inflation across countries in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development hitting a 2-year high. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Akshay Tandon.
It's time for our morning mystery. Today it is a mystery to us. They haven't told us if it's a person, place, or thing, so we'll find out with their clues. Clue number 1, originally developed around 2500 BC to solve a mathematical problem. It is now associated with computing and artificial intelligence, and most people encounter one every day without noticing.
What?
I'm thinking abacus. Is that a picture of an abacus in the background?
That's what I thought too. For
2500 BC, right? Like,
how do you spell that?
Yeah.
Or
Hold
on.
The
equation.
The more modern version of the abacus. This can't be it. I don't know.
I don't think I'm right. Algorithm?
Nothing for me. Nothing.
Is it the equation that goes with it? Because they said computing. Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Wow, Daryl.
Well, it was this clue right here that now associated with computing and AI.
Yeah.
AI got me.
I would think, when I think algorithm, I think social media.
When I think algorithm, I think that's not an industry I want to work in.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Now for a look at our national forecast, we're seeing a very pleasant day over in Vancouver today, 23 degrees with mainly sunny skies, 23 in Winnipeg as well, but we're seeing some more rain throughout the afternoon there today. Over in Toronto up to 26, Ottawa 24, Montreal 26, also seeing some rain over in Fredericton today, 20 degrees. Halifax mainly cloudy with 22 degrees as their high, and St. John's with a little bit of sunshine poking through those clouds, but 18 degrees will be the high today. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. Your average price, $164.9. You could find it for as low as $151.9. In Saskatoon, your average price is $168.9, and you could find it for as low as $154.9. In the farm markets today, we find the street price of canola at $766.95 per ton. The futures price, $8.20 even. Amber Durum wheat now at $272.48 per ton, and Red Spring wheat $281.71 per ton. And the Canadian dollar is down. It's now at 71.75 cents US. When we come back, new photos of what could be lurking in the deep. Stay with us.
Salut, Tansei. Welcome back to your morning. It is 7:28, and we begin with Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre calling on the Prime Minister to extend the pause of the federal fuel excise tax before it's set to return after Labor Day.
When Conservatives first called on Mark Carney to take all taxes off gas and diesel until the new year, Canadians were struggling already. But since then, things have gotten worse. That's why Conservatives are calling on the Carney Liberals to cancel their September gas tax hike and eliminate all gas taxes from now until at least Canada Day. This Conservative tax cut would save families 25 cents a litre, $20 a fill-up, and about $1,000 between now and Canada Day.
The Liberals suspended the tax in April in response to the rising global oil prices amid the war in Iran. Inflation is up slightly as new data this morning shows the consumer price index climbed to 3% in July. The new figures are up from 2.8% in June. Gas prices were lower in June, but the cost of filling up spiked again last month as tensions heated up in the Middle East. The consumer price index, excluding gas, rose 2.2% for the third consecutive month. Economists believe the July spike will only be temporary. Montreal police are investigating a suspected femicide in the city, which would be the 12th in Quebec.
A 51-year-old man is considered as a suspect right now in this investigation murder. And we now can say that this man was in an intimate partner relationship with the victim.
Murder investigation is underway after a 44-year-old woman was killed in her Saint-Michel apartment. Montreal police were called and asked to make a wellness check at the apartment. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. They also found a 51-year-old man with stab wounds to his upper body who was taken to hospital in critical condition. Police consider him a suspect. Now to the war in Iran. The 60-day ceasefire is set to expire today as Iranian officials fire back at the president over the future of the Strait of Hormuz. John Carl reports.
Over the weekend, President Trump claimed the U.S. is in full control of the Strait of Hormuz and could soon declare the critical waterway American territory.
Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
Iran's deputy foreign minister almost immediately pushed back, saying the Strait of Hormuz has been Iranian, is Iranian, and will remain Iranian. The two sides have fought over the strait for months, reducing traffic through the critical waterway to a virtual standstill. Now Iran's military chief is making a new threat, offering a $30,000 bounty for every U.S. service member killed or captured, according to Iranian state media. The war has already claimed the lives of 18 Americans and wounded hundreds of others. Democrats are demanding answers and a way out.
How are we going to get out of this quagmire? What is actually the mission? Because so far the mission has changed and the objective has changed so many times.
And over the weekend, CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper visited the USS Lincoln amid reports of deteriorating conditions and mental health concerns for the 5,000 service members on board amid their 9-month deployment, a deployment extended because of the war. After his visit, Admiral Cooper issued a statement saying, quote, "The Lincoln currently has among the lowest number of cases related to mental health." But he conceded this doesn't mean that all is perfect, describing long periods at sea as, quote, "uniquely challenging and tough." Jonathan Carl, ABC News, Washington.
Well, closer to home, a man who became trapped in a large grating at a large drainage pipe in Saskatoon's Silverwood Dog Park had to be rescued. Saskatoon fire crews were called to the area of the former entrance to the dog park around 8 o'clock Friday for a report of a man being trapped. Crews set up rope systems to help lift him out. The man was turned over to Medivie paramedics for medical treatment. Much of the northern part of the dog park is an open excavation site with construction underway repairing 2 underground pipelines in that area. Regina Christians gathered in the park for Praise in the Park this weekend over at Wascana. The day was filled with food and music, attracting people from various churches across the city. An annual event at the bandstand featuring musical groups from as far away as Yorkton.
We've had some groups come from really popular parishes and then some from churches that are kind of newer. So we have the whole genre and different types of music as well. So it's been a really good opportunity to find out kind of what's going on at other places.
Praise in the Park has been a Regina summer staple since 2014. Can't miss video from the Special Olympics golf event. Team Saskatchewan's Taylor Carter from Regina on the par 3 16. Carter jars it from 135 yards out for a hole-in-one. Check out the reaction. The caddy, his nephew, first notices it. Ashton, there he goes, celebrates before he does. Carter then sends the 9-iron flying and takes off down the course. He won gold for Canada in the 2023 Special Olympics in Berlin. Nothing but love for Taylor on the course in Medicine Hat, Alberta. What lurks in the icy depths of our mysterious oceans? This is what Jeremy Dodge is always telling you. You've got to search the ocean before we search outer space. Well, now a group of talented photographers has captured some close encounters, striking colors, and even the human impact on it all. The extraordinary shots are nominated for this year's Ocean Photographer of the Year award. They feature divers encountering marine life, fish protecting their young, and even 2 orcas carrying a humpback whale calf that they hunted. The nominees were selected from over 15,000 entries. Winners will be announced next month. There's some brand new numbers at the box office.
You're the Spider-Man.
Can't tell anybody about this. You gotta keep it a secret.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, the secret's out. The latest installment of Spider-Man: A Brand New Day has officially hit the $2 billion mark worldwide in just 3 weeks. It's now one of 8 films in history to join the 2 billion club. Some of those titles include Titanic, Avengers Endgame, and Avatar.
If we're going into that jungle, we need to suit up for the job. Whatever this island throws at us, we'll be prepared.
Meanwhile, Ryder and his team of pups trailed behind at the theaters. Paw Patrol: The Dino Movie earned $20 million at the domestic box office. These ticket sales are even with the franchise's 2023 Mighty movie. It's clear that between Spider-Man: The Odyssey, Tom Holland and Zendaya are still riding the box office wave. I went to this yesterday with my guy Mateo. It was cute. The theater was packed. All the kids were very excited.
Director Corey said he also took in a movie this weekend, so I just want to know why I wasn't invited to the movies with you guys.
That's true. This is awkward.
Awkward. Okay, let's get to the weather center here. It's not a bad start to the day in Regina. We are at 12 degrees now, although we've been watching as more cloud and a little bit of fog has moved into the city in the past hour or so. Winds are still very calm, only coming in at 7 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, we are now finally up into those double digits, though. 11 degrees to start the day. Winds very calm once again, only coming in at 4 kilometers per hour, although again, we have been seeing the cloud cover increasing slightly over the past hour. Winds aren't really going to be increasing today if you're waking up with us from Kindersley, North Battleford, Saskatoon, or even Regina, but we are seeing some areas lighting up in blue, so right along that U.S. border into the later part of the day, but mainly through areas around Prince Albert, Hudson Bay, and right along that eastern border with Manitoba there north of the Parkland region, where we could be seeing some winds gusting up to about 40 kilometers per hour. Current temperatures now still seeing some areas in the single digits. That includes Stony Rapids at 9 degrees, 7 degrees in Spiritwood, 9 degrees in Melfort, and 9 9 degrees in Prince Albert. A bit of an improvement with those double digits over in Nipawin, 11 degrees. Also at 11 in South End, Buffalo Narrows, and Hudson Bay. In the south, just Assiniboia sitting at 9 degrees now, and the Battlefords as well at 9 degrees. Other than that, though, double digits in Weyburn, 10 degrees, 12 degrees in Estevan, 11 in Moose Jaw, and 11 degrees in Swift Current. Into the afternoon today, still seeing temperatures below that seasonal average. That should start changing into the coming days when things are going to be getting warmer. We are going to be seeing a small amount of rain through the southwest corner of the province today. 22 in Swift Current with that, 22 in Moose Jaw, and 24 in Weyburn. We still have a very low chance of getting some light drizzle in Regina as well, although you are seeing the high is 21 and a mix of sun and cloud. 21 in Saskatoon as well, 21 in the Battlefords, and 21 in Prince Albert. Now here's a look at those averages that we mentioned. So they are actually down from last week when we were talking about these. 25.6 is the average in Regina. 24.7 is now the average in Saskatoon. Last year on this day in Regina, we reached 20.2 degrees. And last year on this day in Saskatoon, it was 24.0. The record back in 1920 for Regina was 36.1. And the record in Saskatoon was back in the year 1949. That was 36.1 degrees. We're also seeing the sun is going down a little bit earlier on in the evenings now. For Regina, we'll be seeing the sun until 8:14 p.m. And in Saskatoon, that sun will be going down at about 8:27 p.m. today.
The incident happened on June 25th, 2026 at around 4 o'clock in the late afternoon on the 1800 block of Victoria Avenue. A man attended a restaurant and ordered several items off the menu. He ate the food and then left the restaurant without paying, a dine and dash. The man was wearing a black hat, black shorts, and a blue t-shirt. If you recognize this man, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Constable Dana Adams with the Regina Police Service. Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash reward for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina. Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, and Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
Sicilian Chambers series is coming back for another exciting season, and they've got a new executive director. We welcome in Megan Milatz this morning. Megan, thank you so much for doing this. Listen, before we get into the whole season and the exciting things you have coming up for all of our listeners, our viewers, what is the Sicilian Chambers series all about?
Thanks so much, Daryl, for having me. And yeah, the Sicilian Chamber Series, it's a concert series that brings in world-class chamber music right to Regina. We have this incredible venue in Regina called Dark Hall, and it has a beautiful piano there. So we bring in artists from both Canada and other parts of North America and often Europe as well to perform, usually on Sunday afternoons.
And you got to take us through this series, because this year we've got even a 12-time Juno winner coming.
Yes, and this is a name that many Canadians know. James Ennis, violinist, will be coming for his 50th birthday tour. He is performing in all of the 10 provinces and 3 territories, and that includes Regina for the Sicilian Chamber Series. So that's happening on September 20th, and our individual tickets actually just became available. They're now officially on sale, so you can check that out on the Sicilian website. And after that, we have Karina Gauvin coming to perform. She's one of the world's most wonderful sopranos, giving a recital in October. And after that will be Trio Elios from France. They're kind of an up-and-coming French trio. They have a fantastic program of Ravel and Shostakovich.
Hey, Megan, why is it so important that we showcase all of these different things? And that's a wide range you just covered, from violinists to cellists to sopranos. Why is it so important to showcase that?
Well, I think it really brings people together to witness something a little bit out of the ordinary, actually. So these are artists that have trained from all over the world, and this is something that I think in Saskatchewan we're so lucky to be able to have the chance to see right in our backyard. So this huge variety, actually, of violin vocalists. We have an amazing string quartet coming in April, and it's a way to inspire people, to really uplift people, and to share a moment together of real inspiration.
I'm very excited to have you join the Chamber Series. I think this is very exciting for everybody, and congratulations to Lori on her much needed, much deserved retirement as well. Cecilia, chamberseries.ca is where you get your tickets. Megan, let's do this again real soon, okay?
Perfect. Thanks so much, Daryl.
Here's what's happening in our community. The Early Shift Pop-Up Dance for Women is on August 21st, 6 p.m. at the Artesian. Visit earlyshift.ca. The Arcola Roughstock Rodeo is on August 21st, 6:30 p.m. at the Arcola Rodeo grounds. Email arcolarodeo@gmail.com. The Regina Victory Church Summerfest is on August 22nd, 11 a.m. at 1825 Victoria Avenue East. Visit reginavictory.com. And a craft and trade show is on August 22nd, 2 p.m. at McNaughton Park in Regina. Visit rpcaregina.ca. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
Let's check back in with Janelle Lippi now over at Pat Fialco Plaza. She's trading breaking news for breaking a sweat with the crew from Dance with Nikki.
Good morning. I'm back with Nikki and, of course, her lovely team behind me who are braving the cold on this Monday morning to get their groove on. We've got more dance moves to show you, but first, a little bit more to chat about here. So, Nikki, some very exciting events coming up. What are we looking at?
We're still running Country Swing in the Park, which is right here in Victoria Park. It's every Wednesday from 6:30 to 8:30. We have a little mini lesson, so it's for beginner friendly. Come out, come dance with us, and we love it there. We also have Pump Jacks Cathedral. We just do a social dance there. Again, beginner friendly. Everyone is welcoming, and we want to get new dancers, so it's really fun. And then the last thing is Collective Studios Regina is a studio that we all teach at, and we start classes in mid-September, so you can check out their website and sign up for our classes.
All right, very exciting stuff. Now, speaking of beginner friendly, let's go over some of these moves. What do we have next?
Okay, we're going to do the K-step, which is in a lot of line dances as well. So we're going to draw the kind of V shape in the K. So we're going to take our first step up to the top corner. So our right foot goes to the top corner. Then we tap our left beside. We're going to come back to the middle. So our left comes to the middle. We tap our right beside. Then we're going to draw the bottom. So our right comes back. Tap our left, and then back to the middle, left, and then tap our right.
Okay, I feel pretty good about that. Should we do it again?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
So we'll do it a little bit faster. 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice.
Oh, I feel good about that one. I think we're going to get some more moves under our belt here pretty soon. Nikki, thank you so much for this.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, well, we will once again be back in about an hour. We've got more moves to show you and a little bit more information.
Forward to seeing more next hour.
It's August 17th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated happy birthday going out to Bryce. He turned 8 years old yesterday. Lots of love from your whole family. And on Saturday, Kirsten was celebrating her birthday. We hope it was a great one for you. Lots of love from Colin and the kids, Jackson and Cameron.
Milestones, brought to you by Harbor Landing Village, an award-winning senior care and living community in Regina.
If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca or simply scan that QR code on your screen. Please send those in at least one day in advance.
Monday, which means you're probably giving something away.
We're still taking qualifiers for that Cameron Whitcomb trip to see him in Nashville. Just listen to us for 10 minutes with the iHeartRadio app. But a new one as we're getting closer and closer to back to school here. Every week we're going to be giving away gift cards to go spend at Cornwall Centre, get you that back to school first day look. So coming up here at 8:40 with our workday warm up, we'll have some back to school trivia for you, nice and easy. And if you're in for that, you could be winning the grand prize of that Cornwall gift card.
Thanks, Chase. Appreciate it. You can check them out anytime on the iHeartRadio app. We'll see you next tomorrow, I guess, next hour.
See you
not
then.
Right.
Thanks.
At D23, Disney fans got everything they came for, and then some. Marvel leading off with new footage from Avengers Doomsday. And theaters December 18th. Along with the cast of a new X-Men.
Sadie Sink, Kid Connor, Maya Boy.
A new Simpsons movie announced by Bart himself.
Thanks, Disney nerds. It's great to be here.
And third chapters for 3 animated favorites. Frozen, Incredibles, and Zootopia.
The bunny and the snake will be back.
The parks making news of their own. A new Villains Land headed to Magic Kingdom. And a surprise from Glenn Close, who returns as Cruella de Vil.
Let's go and leave these two to work on the opening of my ride.
An Indiana Jones ride swings into Animal Kingdom. And at Disney California Adventure, a new Avengers ride called Infinity Defense, set to open in 2028.
We built this place to recruit, inspire, and train the next generation.
And last night, 11 joining the ranks of Disney legends. Among them, Anne Hathaway, Dwayne Johnson, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and the Jonas Brothers.
We're going home as legends.
And the man who built much of Disney's empire, Bob Iger, with his 50 years at Disney, 18 of them as CEO, is now a legend himself. Iger receiving one of Disney's rarest honors, his name unveiled on a window overlooking Town Square on Main Street, USA at Disneyland. It reads, "Looking forward to your tomorrow."
So what does a Disney legend do next?
Go to Disneyland.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
What does he do next? He allegedly bought the Lakers, so I guess he's going to do a lot of basketball. From a helpful gardener to one that is hungry for houseplants.
Oh my God.
Seemed unnecessary. This pachyderm has a penchant for plants. In one fell swoop, grabbed the greenery off the deck. This is in South Africa.
Wow.
Whoopsie.
Oh,
I wasn't supposed to have that?
You know what? If an elephant wants it, an elephant can have it.
Basically,
That's true.
That's a solid rule to live by. Jeremy, what do you got for us?
All right, how about a luxury in life when you can source out your chores like cleaning or, in this case, gardening? Yeah, after 9 years, this couple can finally afford their own gardener because their daughter is at an age where she can take over those chores.
Right.
Clearly, she doesn't seem too happy about it, but they do.
When she gets an allowance, she'll be happy for it. You got to work for it.
The allowance is a roof over your head. Is that the only one ever told that? No?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, do we have time for one more, Director Corey? We do, he says. Some people think water is tasteless, while others have a personal preference when given a choice.
I don't like that one either.
Do they all taste different, or do they each have?
So this was a mom who said there's no way you can actually tell the difference between how the waters taste. Her daughter said, yes, I bet I can, and she actually did. Her favorite is the tap water with a specific filter that they own, and all the comments were flooded saying, tell me what filter you have. If it makes your water taste that good.
Stop buying bottled water. All that plastic. Old man shakes fist at clouds. We're back right after this.
Better than pop.
Welcome to Monday, August 17th.
It's because of Donald Trump. He likes his tariffs. He hasn't been looking to remove them.
Another meeting, yet no deal yet. Negotiators still working with that deadline 2 days away.
Lots of experts have kind of looked at Churchill Falls as, one of the most significant untapped sustainable power sources in North America.
Major announcement. The Prime Minister in St. John's today with the premiers of Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador, where they're expected to announce a new deal on energy from Churchill Falls. And some sad news this morning from Hollywood. Actress Hayden Panettiere dead at the age of 36. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning, Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning and happy Monday.
Not to start it off on a down note, but you're a big fan of Hayden Panettiere.
I was a big fan of Hayden, and she was in some of my favorites. Tiger Cruise was one of my first favorite movies when I was a kid.
Tiger Cruise?
Tiger Cruise, yeah. She was, a young teenager, I believe, when it came out, but it was such a good movie.
I just remember Nashville.
Nashville, Heroes, such good stuff.
Oh, yeah, she was the cheerleader, right? In Heroes?
Yeah, she was the cheerleader. Also,
like a 3-season run?
Bring It On, there was a second Bring It On movie, and she was in that one as well.
There's a second Titanic movie. You should never watch that. Let's get to news 8:01. We'll get to that obit in just a second. Just days before President Donald Trump's latest tariff threat is scheduled to hit a wide range of Canadian good, the minister responsible for negotiations met with his American counterpart. Michael Serapio reports.
LeBlanc's office describes it as constructive, a 60-minute meeting between the Minister for Canada-U.S. Trade and his American counterpart, Jameson Greer. Virtual, but still a chance to, quote, take stock of where things stand just days before the latest Trump tariffs are scheduled to start.
There's no reason why the Prime Minister can't get a great deal on Wednesday. That's what he promised in the election.
The U.S. wants action on booze, dairy, and U.S. autos. Canada is looking for sectoral relief on lumber, steel, aluminum, and autos, too. But despite Sunday's meeting, sources believe the two sides are still far apart.
It's because of Donald Trump. He likes his tariffs. He hasn't been looking to remove them.
Brian Clow led the Canada-U.S. relations file for Justin Trudeau. And he says for Canadian negotiators, the goal is not zero tariffs, but lower tariffs.
Get the best deal compared to any country in the world.
But if no deal is reached, the U.S. is promising to impose tariffs of 50% on billions of dollars of Canadian exports come Wednesday.
I think that many Canadians, while they would like to continue to maintain the elbows up, would not appreciate what that actually means.
The U.S. trade rep warns Canada against imposing any kind of counter tariff if the new U.S. levies come through. But this member of the Prime Minister's Advisory Council says Canada should not be afraid of fighting back because counter tariffs and the booze boycott had, she says, an effect.
These are the things that got us to a place to be able to now use that leverage to get a better deal.
Now, sources say it's a good sign the U.S. trade rep carved out time for today's meeting. Jameson Greer walking away from his own birthday celebrations with loved ones, but that's still no guarantee the new Trump tariffs can be avoided.
The premiers of Quebec and Newfoundland and Labrador are expected to announce a crucial energy deal later today.
To turn the page on a good 70-odd years of having the short stick.
It's widely expected the announcement will bring to an end the long-standing dispute over the Churchill Falls power plant. The Prime Minister will be at the announcement in St. John's, as well as his office describing it as an announcement regarding energy security and economic development. The provinces have been negotiating a deal to share energy from the Churchill River in Labrador. The new deal is expected to replace the current agreement, which runs until 2041. Under that deal, Quebec pays Newfoundland and Labrador 0.2 cents per kilowatt hour and then resells it at a higher price. Instagram and Facebook will face a major challenge this week with a jury trial over child privacy beginning tomorrow. Several states are seeking extensive financial damages, plus changes on how the company operates the social media platforms. The lawsuit accuses the social media giant of contributing to the youth mental health crisis by knowingly and deliberately designing features that are addictive. The trial features 4 of the states as plaintiffs: California, Colorado, Kentucky, and New Jersey. There are currently 16 active wildfires burning in Saskatchewan, but in BC, many evacuees finally allowed to return home, but still have to be ready to go at a moment's notice.
Crews are making really good progress both on the northern, eastern, and southern flanks of the fire. The western flank, however, especially up in that northwestern corner, is continuing to challenge crews.
An evacuation order affecting the district of Summerland has been partially downgraded to an alert. The gradual return started on Friday. People still have to be ready to go because the conditions could change quickly. The Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency will be with us in about 15 minutes to update us on our situation. More than 150,000 customers are without power in Hawaii this morning in the wake of Tropical Storm Lala. At least 100 homes have been damaged or lost because of powerful winds and flooding. The storm's eye wall never made landfall, but some areas still got heavy rain, about a meter of it. Officials say some homes have been swept off their foundations, prompting search and rescue operations. At least one person died. That was in a car collision on Saturday night. Police continue to investigate an incident at Regina's Cornwall Centre over the weekend. This began as a weapons call on Saturday afternoon. Police say it turned out to be cap guns. It happened just before 5:30 p.m. Police say the investigation is ongoing. Breaking news overnight: Hayden Panettiere, the actress who went from heroes cheerleader to country stardom on Nashville, has died. In recent months, she had spoken openly about her struggles with addiction and depression. Rena Roy reports.
Hayden Panettiere began acting when she was a baby, appearing in a commercial at just 11 months old.
I'm so happy.
As a child, she landed roles in Remember the Titans. And voiced Dot in A Bug's Life.
Dot! Yes, Mother.
At just 17, she became a household name, starring in the hit superhero show Heroes as Claire, the indestructible cheerleader at the center of the show's famous tagline.
Save the cheerleader, save the world.
On Nashville, she played Juliette Barnes, the ambitious country star with a troubled past, earning 2 Golden Globe nominations. Off-screen, Panettiere fought battles she later made public, including postpartum depression after the birth of her daughter.
I came out the other side sober, but still with this horrible anxiety and depression.
Amid those struggles, she gave up custody of her daughter, Kaya.
I remember every second of that day. Every second. No mother could forget a single thing about the day she signed her child away.
Panettiere also battled years of addiction and sought treatment multiple times. In 2023, she endured the loss of her younger brother, Jansen, who died at just 28. Her family saying she was an incredible light and a force of nature who brought immeasurable love and joy to all who knew her and to the millions who watched her on screen. Hayden Panettiere was 36. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Much too young. How about this? Jeremy, we turn things over to you for a daring rescue over the weekend.
Yeah, Daryl, a man who became trapped in the grating of a large drainage pipe in Saskatoon's Silverwood Dog Park Friday night had to be rescued. Saskatoon crews called to the former entrance of the park around 8 Friday night for a report of a man trapped in the grating of a large drainage pipe. Crews set up rope systems to help lift the man out of the pipe. Man was turned over to Medavie paramedics for medical treatment. Much of the northern area of the dog park is an open excavation site currently. They're doing construction, repairing 2 underground pipelines in the area. Well, despite being much smaller than it used to be, this year's Saskatoon Folk Fest being called a success for another year. The 47th annual festival brought 11 cultural pavilions together under one roof at Prairie Land Park. Came to a close Saturday night after 2 days of performances, traditional food, and cultural experiences. This year's festival featured 11 pavilions representing Bangladesh, China, India, Iran, Latino, Nepal, Nigeria, Norway, Pakistan, the Philippines, and Vietnam.
All the entertainment going on from yesterday and today was really, really enlightening. Different country, different cultures.
Oh, I really like Focus because it's all the cultures coming together as one, and the performance and the food.
I wasn't sure with it being smaller than some years how it was going to be, but it looks like people are having a good time and actually showing up.
Folkfest has downsized in recent years, going from having pavilions all over the city to keeping it all under one roof. Well, Daryl, now to opening statements in the long-awaited murder trial.
That's right. Dwayne Davis is accused of masterminding the 1996 drive-by shooting of Tupac Shakur. Alex Stone with the latest.
This morning, 6 men and 10 women will come face to face with the man who Las Vegas police and prosecutors say ordered the murder of rap icon Tupac Shakur almost 30 years ago. Dwayne Davis, street name Keefe D, on trial accused of greenlighting the murder and providing the gun on September 7th, 1996, when shots were fired into a BMW at a Las Vegas intersection. Now, so many decades later, jurors are set to hear evidence against Davis, a one-time South LA gang leader. Prosecutors say he ordered the murder because he was angry about his nephew being roughed up in this fight, seen on surveillance video inside a Las Vegas hotel. Davis telling ABC News in an exclusive jailhouse interview he had nothing to do with the murder.
They don't have no evidence against me.
But jurors will hear Davis's own words. For years, he's bragged about his involvement in the murder and even published a book believing he had immunity.
In effect, the defense's best argument is that their own client is a liar, and we have to see if they're going to call him. If they put him on the stand, it sort of sets up the prosecution for that age-old question of, well, were you lying then or are you lying now?
Alex Stone, ABC News.
The Saskatoon Berries are your 2026 Western Canadian Baseball League champions. The Berries beat the Sylvan Lake Gulls 11-1 last night to capture their first WCBL crown. There's some glory. Look at that, the Bath. If you had the yellow in the bet, you win. The team is only the third season they're in. 2,500 fans plus packed the patch to see it all happen. Congratulations to those Saskatoon Berries. We got to get to your weather forecast for this part of the hour. Kicking off our Monday with what, Kayleen?
Well, some sunshine, but we have been seeing some clouds increasing in the past hour or so here. But still, it's a bright start to the day. Morning View is brought to you by Stars Lottery, your ticket fund's life-saving care across Saskatchewan. We're now at 13 degrees to wake you up in the Queen City, 9-kilometer-per-hour winds. In Saskatoon, we're at 12 degrees, so just 1 degree cooler, 6-kilometer-per-hour winds, and a bit of cloud cover moving in over top of Saskatoon this morning as well. Radar and satellite showing all that rain we got yesterday into the evening hours and overnight, so we saw quite a bit of active weather throughout central and southern Saskatchewan. This morning we've started to see this system moving in from Alberta, so bringing a little bit more of that rain. It's not going to be any heavy totals for today. Right now we're registering the number that all these areas lighting up in green are seeing at about 1 millimeter. So it's not going to be a lot. Regina, though, is starting to see an increased chance of seeing some very light precipitation between the 2 to 4 o'clock hour this afternoon. Other than that, the southwest corner of the province, right around Swift Current, even through Moose Jaw, also going to be seeing some of that rain this afternoon as well. It really does clear up overnight, and a little bit more moving in for your day tomorrow. Low chance right now, about a 30% of Saskatoon seeing some tomorrow afternoon. Into the evening, we see more of that popping up north. Not a whole lot down south, though. Today's forecast, with that small amount of rain on the way, 22 degrees for Swift Current, 22 for Moose Jaw, 21 in Regina, and 21 in Saskatoon, 21 in the Battlefords and Prince Albert as well, 20 degrees in Yorkton, 24 in Weyburn, and 23 in Estevan. Now here's a look at our 5-day forecast. Things really are starting to improve because the past 7 days have been below that seasonal average. That has been a consistent thing that we have been saying. Now we get to say it's getting right back up to right around or even above that seasonal average. Temperatures peaking in the province around Wednesday. In Regina, that temperature is going to be 29 degrees. So we still are seeing that taste of summer. 26 degrees on Thursday and 25 on Friday. In Saskatoon, 25 degrees tomorrow with a whole lot of sunshine. 28 degrees by Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud. 25 on Thursday and 25 on Friday.
August 17th, 2008, Canada won gold in the men's 8 rowing at the Beijing Olympics. On the 17th in 1904, Canadian entrepreneur Gordon McGregor established the Ford Motor Company of Canada at Walkerville Wagon Works in Windsor. And August 17th, 2008, American swimmer Michael Phelps earned his 8th gold medal at the Beijing Games as part of the U.S. men's 4x100 medley relay team.
All right, let's get to our...
In case you missed it. Oh, what?
No,
is it my turn or yours?
False start. Runner in lane 2 is disqualified.
You're just trying to skim right over Dodge, huh? Let's talk about this giant flower carpet instead. It was revealed in Brussels. It's an annual tradition in the Belgian capital. They put it right in the middle of the city at the historic Grand Place. Now, this year's theme meant to honor Japanese artist Katsushika Hakusai, specifically his work, The Great Wave off Kanagawa. So this work apparently brings a piece of contemporary Japanese culture to Belgium.
Crushed that name. Good for
Yeah,
you.
I was thinking the same thing. That sounded so easy for you.
That flowed right off your tongue. Beautiful piece of work.
Wow.
Just read the words.
All right, I'm a speed racer, so now let's get to our question of the day.
Okay.
It's Monday, guys.
It's been a Monday.
It really
Anybody
has
else
been
feeling
a Monday. We're asking you today, what's one thing you would love to find thrifting? I wish I could sing this top answer, but we don't have the music right, so just know that I'm singing it in my head. A raspberry beret in a secondhand store.
No, Jeremy, we can't do it. Jeremy, we can't do it. We don't own the music rights, and I don't have $10,000.
What do you mean? I was just saying it.
Yeah, I don't have.
I didn't hear any music.
Okay, sure.
Nobody heard Jeremy sing
Nobody
that.
heard that.
Everybody shh. Kim, I'm always looking for vintage colored glass items and Pyrex. My son finds and collects cameras. My daughter looks for 90s clothing. Cool.
We probably have some of that kicking around our house. 90s clothing.
One other answer coming in, Lori, two others. Lori saying, I would love to find a brand name winter jacket for cheap. Yeah, because they can get really expensive. The good quality ones.
Oh, man.
And Susan saying, anything that I need, I thrift first. I have that same mentality. I will go and I will look at a secondhand shop first before I buy anything new. Selective Coca-Cola memorabilia, Christmas coffee mugs, redonated in February. It's a mug rotation. I love that.
We always get Kayleen's estate sale recap on Monday morning, bright and early.
Because why would you buy anything new? Buy it all secondhand. That's my motto. I will never buy anything brand new unless I cannot find it in any secondhand store.
And have your pet spayed and neutered or whatever other PSAs we have for you. We're back after this with the SPSA. Let's get an update on our wildfire situation here in the province of Saskatchewan with the Saskatchewan Public Safety Agency's Acting Vice President of Operations. It's Peter Boniface. Thank you so much for spending a couple of minutes with us today.
Good morning, Alice. Thank you for having me this morning.
Go ahead, regale us. Give us the update. Where do we stand today as we sit here in terms of our wildfire situation in Saskatchewan this summer?
So in terms of our wildfire, we're actually in a very good situation. Currently, we only have 6 fires that are actually active, of which all 6 of them are under control. So we don't have any issues. There are a few where we're actually protecting some values and just keeping an eye on them. But overall, we don't have any major issues within the province this year. We did a little bit at the start of the year. We did have, as we know, we had a fire in the Shelbourne area, which was a concern for us, but we managed to get on top of that and actually get that under control. But other than that, it's been a very good year. We've had, as everybody knows, lots of moisture, which has been very helpful. Unfortunately, some of our neighbours haven't had the same benefits, and they're in especially British Columbia and Ontario. But so that gives us an opportunity to actually support them. Currently, we have many lengths of hose that are out in British Columbia. We had the opportunity to loan an aircraft engine to Ontario. And we have provided an air attack officer to the Northwest Territories just this last week. So,
Peter, it is Aviation Week, which runs today through the 21st. Let's maybe touch on some of the work being done by the aircraft and the air crews, because they're so relied upon.
Sure. So, when people hear about aerial work within firefighting, they mostly think of the water bombers, and so. It's definitely a key part of our fleet, and we have water bomber aircraft. We have what we also call a land-based tanker, which so the water bomber itself will drop water on the fire, and actually the main function of the water bomber is to cool the fire so that our ground personnel can get in and do the real work. That's where the fires are mainly controlled. So the water bomber cools it down. The retardant aircraft, that's the land-based aircraft, or the retardant aircraft will actually create simulated fire breaks or actually control the fire and manage it. And then we have obviously helicopters, which we use for initial attacks, so getting crews to the fire as soon as we can, as well as helicopters will be used for bucketing. And then Saskatchewan being such a vast province and the network, getting people to remote areas where it's not easy to get crews into. So, and over on the top of that, the other aircraft we have detection aircraft that'll actually, they forewarn, they're looking for fires. So, and if they spot them, then we get to them right away.
Peter, we got about 30 seconds left. We're not out of the woods just yet. It is only the middle of August. There's still a lot of real estate left here in the season. What can we do as the public, as members of the public, to mitigate or lower the risk of more wildfires in the province?
Well, again, the message is if there are no fire bans that I'm aware of, certainly not from a provincial level, but if you're having a campfire, make sure that it's out when you're done. If you're on an ATV in the bush, just be cautious. Just really be cautious about what you're doing. Fortunately, it is wet, but it can dry out. The forecast is talking about a late fall and getting dry. So that's the main thing. And then one thing I would like to say is when there are fires in the area, don't be flying drones in and around the area, but we've had occasions where we've had to pull aircraft off of fires because people are flying drones in the area. So.
Right. Peter Boniface is the SPSA's acting Vice President of Operations. It is Aviation Week, running from today until Friday. Thank you so much for a couple of minutes.
Thank you.
You want them to eat well-balanced meals, but sometimes...
Yeah, half sandwich. Oh.
That's easier said than done.
The one thing to avoid is what your child won't like and won't eat.
Catherine Sherry with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says if your child wants to try school lunches, to go over the menu and pick the days that will appease their palate. She says schools have to follow rules and regulations regarding what's served.
There is going to be a fruit, a vegetable, a protein, and a carb on that plate. So it really is a balanced meal.
But picky eaters may want to pack their lunch, and Sherry says providing them with a healthy meal they'll actually eat doesn't have to be hard. She says to involve them.
Take the kids to the grocery store or ask them what type of fruit or vegetable do you want in your lunch this week.
Making it fun can also help. Try ham and cheese roll-ups with hummus, whole wheat pita, celery, and a banana, or deconstructed tacos, ground beef, guacamole, whole wheat tortilla, lettuce and tomato, and watermelon, or meat dippers, cubed chicken with their favorite dip, trail mix, carrots, pineapple. You could also try homemade Lunchables, sliced turkey and cheese, alongside nut or seed butter, crackers, green beans, and some apple slices. Make it all healthier than store-bought brands. And Sherry says students should wash lunch down with water to avoid a sugar high or crash.
That is going to be the best option to get them through the day, to keep their brains working, to not give them headaches.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health Report, brought to you in part by SEIU West, Saskatchewan's first healthcare union.
.30, good morning. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre calling on the Prime Minister to extend the pause of the federal fuel tax.
When Conservatives first called on Mark Carney to take all taxes off gas and diesel until the new year, Canadians were struggling already. But since then, things have gotten worse. That's why Conservatives are calling on the Carney Liberals to cancel their September gas tax hike and eliminate all gas taxes from now until at least Canada Day. This Conservative tax cut would save families 25 cents a litre, $20 a fill-up, and about $1,000 between now and Canada Day.
The Liberals suspended the tax in April in response to the rising global oil prices amid the war in Iran. Inflation is up slightly as new data this morning shows the consumer price index climbed to 3% in July. The new figures are up 2.8% in June. Gas prices were lower in June, but the cost of filling up spiked again last month as tensions heated up in the Middle East. The consumer price index, excluding gas, rose 2.2% for the third consecutive month. Economists believe the July spike will only be temporary. A 60-day ceasefire in the war in Iran is set to expire today as Iranian officials fire back at the U.S. president over the future of the Strait of Hormuz. Jonathan Carl reports.
Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
Iran's deputy foreign minister almost immediately pushed back, saying the Strait of Hormuz has been Iranian, is Iranian, and will remain Iranian. The two sides have fought over the strait for months, reducing traffic through the critical waterway to a virtual standstill. Now Iran's military chief is making a new threat, offering a $30,000 bounty for every U.S. service member killed or captured, according to Iranian state media. The war has already claimed the lives of 18 Americans and wounded hundreds of others. Democrats are demanding answers and a way out.
How are we going to get out of this quagmire? What is actually the mission? Because so far the mission has changed and the objective has changed so many times.
And over the weekend, CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper visited the USS Lincoln amid reports of deteriorating conditions and mental health concerns for the 5,000 service members on board amid their 9-month deployment, a deployment extended because of the war. After his visit, Admiral Cooper issued a statement saying, quote, "The Lincoln currently has among the lowest number of cases related to mental health." But he conceded, this doesn't mean that all is perfect, describing long periods at sea as, quote, uniquely challenging and tough. Jonathan Carl, ABC News, Washington.
In the U.S., there's a boom in real estate sales thanks to a hot market and social media. Laura Sponser reports.
I saw him first. Give it to me! Like a scene straight out of Confessions of a Shopaholic, the early bird does indeed get the worm.
And for estate sale shoppers,
number 1, come on in. Number 2, come on in.
The best bargains often mean long lines for people hoping to strike gold.
Whole house, guys, whole house. Check it out.
Lines out the door, lines forming hours before the sale opens. That's all kind of standard for the industry for a popular sale.
Estate sales now having a moment on social media.
I went to an estate sale this weekend and they had great stuff and even better prices.
The Sony robe. This has literally been like on my wish list.
This thing is so huge. Silver plated champagne bowl.
It is a picker's paradise, from collectibles to furniture to antiques and vintage finds galore.
Good morning, America. Come with me to an estate sale.
After purchasing her house 3 years ago, Kelly Navarro turned to estate sales to furnish her entire Greenville, South Carolina home.
My biggest tip when going to an estate sale is to always check the description. Every sale is different. For today, it's cash only, appointment only.
I started going to estate sales because I realized that you can find amazing, well-crafted pieces for a fraction of what you would pay at retail. And I really just fell in love with the hunt because you never know what you might find at an estate sale. These were $50 for the pair, and that feels criminal. I think people are just really wanting to bring personality into homes again. Everyone wants color, they want fun, they want history. And when you go to an estate sale, it gives you the opportunity to find something unique. And I think that people are really loving that.
The shoppers searching for their diamonds in the rough to keep or resell for profit.
There's a lot of information these days about the sales online. Most companies post their listings to their own website, to their social media, to platforms like estatesales.net, and it's bringing the experience of estate sale shopping to a broader audience.
After all, the hope is what was someone else's trash just might be your next treasure.
My number one tip is to really just lean into the dig. At the end of the day, that's the nature of an estate sale, and that's what makes it so fun and interesting.
There you go. Everybody's catching on to your trend.
I know. I was almost thinking we need to cut away from that story because I don't want my estate sales to be crowded.
There you go. You can meet and greet with Kaylee Sawatsky any day.
Any estate sale, you'll find me there. Let's get to our weather center look now. The morning view is looking a little bit gray and cloudy to start the day. Those clouds have continued to increase in the past few minutes. 13 degrees right now, so we haven't changed there. And we also haven't changed with the winds. We're still coming in at 9 kilometers per hour there. In Saskatoon, 12 degrees. Again, a mix of sun and cloud. Mainly cloudy, though. Winds coming in at 6 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at those wind gusts you can expect for your afternoon. So if you're joining us this morning from Kindersley, North Battleford, Regina, or Saskatoon, winds are not really going to be picking up there. There are some spots around Prince Albert, Hudson Bay, and north of Yorkton where we're seeing those winds gusting up to about 35 to 40 kilometers per hour. Also in the later parts of the afternoon, we also see some of those winds picking up right along that southern U.S. border there. But still, no, overall, not so bad with those winds today. Current temperatures, though, we're still in those single-digit numbers in Stony Rapids and Spiritwood at 9 degrees. 10 degrees, though, in Melfort, 13 degrees in Nipawin, and 13 in Hudson Bay. In the south, 12 degrees now in Swift Current and Assiniboia, 13 in Weyburn, 14 in Estevan, and 14 degrees to wake you up in Yorkton. Today's forecast, we are seeing a little bit of rain, especially down through the southwest corner of the province. So Swift Current, 22 degrees with that. We also have a chance of seeing some very light drizzle in Moose Jaw and Regina today. Again, it's likely to be less than a millimeter of rain. So if you do see that rain starting to come down, don't worry too much about that. 24 degrees, though, in Weyburn, mainly sunny, a little bit more cloud cover through Estevan, 23. 20 degrees in Yorkton, 21 in Prince Albert, Saskatoon, and the Battlefords today. And so we have been talking for the past 7 days or so about how those temperatures have been below that seasonal average. Those averages, though, are going down as we make our way towards September. The average in Regina is now 25.6 for this time of year. 24.7 is the average in Saskatoon. Last year on this day in Regina, we were at 20.2 degrees. And last year in Saskatoon, it reached 24.0. The record back in the year 1920 was 36.1 in Regina. And the record back in Saskatoon in the year 1949, that was 36.1. We're also observing that the sun is going down earlier in the evening these days, of course. So in Regina, the sun is going down today at 8:14 p.m. And in Saskatoon, the sun will be going down at 8:27 p.m. Back to school is right around the corner. So today we're getting smart solutions and creative ideas to make that transition even smoother for you with our DIY and lifestyle expert, Denise Wild. Good morning and welcome back.
Good morning, Kayleen. Thanks so much for having me. Yes, it's almost here, so we're kicking it into gear.
Absolutely. So we got to get that advice. How do we fuel kids for success?
Yes, absolutely. Well, that starts with our shopping. So we're starting, we're pulling out those lists, crossing off our supplies. Maybe it's lunch items and snacks, classroom supplies, even clothing. While you're out there shopping, this is a simple way you can help kids directly in your own community. When you choose to round up your purchase at checkout at your local Loblaws or its participating banner stores, here in Saskatchewan, that includes Wholesale Club and Real Canadian Superstore, 100% of that donation goes directly to PC Children's Charity, which helps provide healthy meals and snacks to kids in schools. 25,000 kids were supported last year through PC Children's Charity's Powerful Kids program. So it's great because you're supporting the local school right down your street.
And we have to talk about updating their eyewear because we want to make sure that we are encouraging the reading, the learning. What do you think?
Exactly. Being able to see properly is so important when it comes to school. And if new glasses are on that back to school list, Specsavers has a great offer right now. You can get 2 pairs of kids' glasses from just $69. You can keep one pair at home, tuck the other one into their backpack, so you're never scrambling if you leave a pair behind. This offer is available now until September 27, and they have so many fun styles to choose from. You can browse all of their kids' styles online, including these new Bluey glasses for younger kids. My son is obsessed with a Bluey, and who isn't? And you can find your nearest store on specsavers.ca.
My daughter too. There's something with Bluey every kid loves. Every kid is so unique, though, in other ways. So how can we customize their back-to-school experience to make it just right for them?
So let's do some little beading, some crafting DIY. You're going to take some letter beads, some stretchy rope, and attach to that some letter beads. And basically you create little name tag, keychain type things that you can attach to their water bottle, to their backpack, to their clothing as a zipper pull if you want. It's about, having fun and getting crafty, identifying your items. If everybody happens to have the same backpack, you want yours to stand out. And, just a fun way to help personalize your back to school.
Denise, I wish we had all the time in the day to be chatting, but unfortunately we are out of time. That was Denise Wild, our DIY and lifestyle expert. Thank you and happy back to school season.
Thanks, thank you. Happy back to school to you too. Bye, everyone.
I can tell.
Well, let's send it back to Pat Fiacco Plaza once more, where Janelle Lippi is taking a crash course in rhythm with the talented team at Dance with Nikki.
Good morning. We've had a ton of fun this morning, and it's not quite over yet. I've got Nikki and her lovely dance crew here behind me. We've got a little bit more to tell you about. So, Nikki, we have been doing some line dancing moves all morning. What other dance, genres do you offer classes in?
So mostly it's country style right now. So we have the line dance, country swing, two-step, polka. We have lots of other swings like East Coast and West Coast. But we do ballroom styles as well. So we have our waltz, our cha-chas, all that good stuff. If you come to Collective Studios, we have a ton of other styles of dance, so all the classic dances. So there's lots of options.
Okay, so lots of things to learn as well. And for those who are watching who are thinking, oh, I've never danced before, but I really want to get started, are these beginner friendly?
Yes, we love to have beginners. We want to welcome new people. It's very accessible and inviting, so please come out. and yeah, enjoy it.
Okay, well, as promised, we also have one more dance to show you. Now, what are we going to do, Nikki?
This one's called the rocking chair. So it's a one-sided rocking chair, though. So we're going to do our right foot forward, and then you're going to lean back into your left foot, and then you're going to take your right foot back, and then lean into your left foot again. So it kind of feels like a one-sided rocking chair.
Okay, all right, let's speed it up.
Okay, we're going to speed it up and do it a couple times so that we can get the motion going. Okay. So 5, 6, 7, 8, going forward and back and forward and back. Now we look like a rocking chair.
Oh, this is nice for me. I feel like I can actually conquer these, Nikki.
Yeah, anyone can.
Beginners too, so make sure if you're watching and you're thinking, I want to look like Janelle here this morning, make sure you get involved. Now, Nikki, where can people go for a little bit more information?
Still going with the rocking chairs. You can come visit us on my website, which is Dance with Nikki, or you can visit on Facebook, Instagram. Dance with Nikki is the tag as well, so yeah.
Okay. All right, well, make sure you're signing up for that. This has been a ton of fun, Nikki. Thank you so much, and of course, thank you to your lovely crew here as well. That does wrap things up for us. But if you'd like to get involved, make sure you do. It's easy, very beginner-friendly, as you can tell.
All right, Janelle, thank you for dancing for us this morning.
It's Monday, and it feels like Monday, so let's have some fun. This is Why Do We Say That? We're going to figure out why we say raining cats and dogs. Of course, that just is a representation of, you know,
how much
outside it's raining.
Yeah.
It's raining cats and dogs. But why do we figure we say this? Let's go out to Janelle first and see what she says.
All right, raining cats and dogs. I've done some pondering on this. I'm not 100% sure what the exact meaning is, but like cats and dogs are heavy, most of them. And if it's raining hard, it's raining heavy. Raining cats and dogs, like a heavy downpour of water.
Yeah, I hope that it doesn't mean anything to do with like catapulting cats and dogs in the Middle Ages. You know?
Me too.
It just feels like that weird weaponry. Keelan, any better guess than that?
I usually do some variation of Jeremy's answer, so I'm going to let him go first.
That's true, you do.
Sure. I think the only thing I can think of is maybe that sometimes during big storms, it really affects the pets, right? Oh. So if the pets are going crazy because of the storm and the amount of rain that's coming down, maybe that's where the term comes from.
So I love it. I'm with Jeremy.
So where does it come from, Noel?
Some years ago, there was an email piece that circulated that attempted to explain life in the Middle Ages as the source of a bunch of popular phrases and sayings, and this was one of them. So the piece explained that cats and dogs would used to sleep in the rafters of houses, and especially when it was raining outside, and occasionally some of them would fall off and hit people that were sleeping below. And that's nonsense. What we do know is that the phrase dates from about 1650, and it was used in a poem. Jonathan Swift had a famous poem called A Description of a City Shower, which he wrote in 1710, where he talks about, at the end of the poem, the gutters are overflowing and dead cats and turnip tops come down the flood. And he seems to have used the phrase as well. We also know that there are similar phrases in other languages. So in French, you say it's raining nails, or in Dutch, you say, you actually say it's raining kittens, or the one I like, it's raining old women. So you get the idea. Stay home. It's nasty out there.
I like the first description better. Just chasing cats off a hot tin roof.
Hey, you learn something new every day.
It's not always pretty. That's why do we say that?
Everything I do multiply by 2. I got this and that. Stray Kids back on top. This and That just became the 9th album by the Korean boy band to debut atop the Billboard 200. That ties them with no less than the Rolling Stones for the second most number ones on the chart. Number one with 19 number ones, the Beatles.
It's not necessarily a character that's easily accessible or likable.
Adam Driver is returning to the dark side. The Oscar-nominated actor is set to play the villain, Mr. Sinister, in the new X-Men movie, expected in 2028. It'll be Driver's debut in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
You don't want to go fooling around other folks' property. You're liable to get hurt.
Tuesday, August 18th, is Texas Chainsaw Day. It's the date in 1973 in which the grisly events of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre took place within the movie. The landmark horror film returns to theaters Tuesday for one frightening night only to mark the occasion. Locations and ticket info at fathomentertainment.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Danner.
A high school student in Idaho has created a prom dress entirely out of duct tape. Eddie Messel shows us.
What started as just a way to win a scholarship to help pay for college turned into 760 hours of producing the most spectacular prom dress around, all out of duct tape.
The 760 hours did not actually account for all of the thought process time, just thinking about it at Walmart and researching glue supplies and all that.
Rio Larson, a local Treasure Valley student, took the challenge of Stuck at Prom to the next level. From spray painting to hole punching feathers to taping, and more taping. All beginning to come together from Larson's original inspiration of one endangered bird.
Yeah, the original idea was the green macaw, and it was just a completely different idea in my head.
After 3 iterations, that initial inspiration led to more colors and bigger feathers, coming to the final take of a scarlet macaw.
But I'm really happy with how it turned out and what it morphed into.
What it morphed into was this: a full dress with wings, a headpiece, anklets, and even heels, winning Larson the Trustees' Choice Scholarship for $2,000. What made the final product crazier, working with duct tape, is something Larson's mom, Andrea, and her have been doing for some time now. Mostly, though, on trails or hikes. Talked about how much your mom used to always tell you that duct tape, it can fix anything. And that still rings true, I would assume, after this whole experience.
It's a woman's best friend. Yes.
The reaction after 760 long hours?
Wow. It was, at the same time, kind of surreal because all this work put into the dress, just for the couple pictures, and it was awesome.
Well, it's not for me, but she did get $2,000 out of it.
I want to know what
Very
you
creative.
do with it afterwards. Do you keep it in your closet forever?
You plug holes in your boat, in your tent, right?
Cool. It's a cool dress.
You want a real cool outfit and a cool job, you apply for this. That's Summer Gallant, a professional town crier in Riverview, New Brunswick. She became the new town crier in April after winning a competition. There's a much bigger role coming up. Gallant will be taking part in the World Town Crier competition in England. Whoa. She's one of 25 applicants that were accepted. Find out in September if she's an international crier. Now that's a classy outfit.
I'm going to need the follow-up to this one later this year.
Right?
This is cool.
I finished top 25.
Looks fun.
So when was the last time you felt this kind of pure joy? The Aspen Valley Wildlife Sanctuary in Ontario posted this yesterday. 2 of their black bears, Cap and Marie, having a very good time rolling and digging through a big pile of wood shavings. Apparently it's one of their favorite enrichment activities, and time may be running out for them to do these sort of things, as they'll soon be released back into the wild.
We'll send them with a bag of wood chips on their way.
Look at how sweet they are.
Oh, that's awesome. I hope they don't get splinters.
Right?
Oh.
That's a good point.
I love it.
Just enough time for one more, Jeremy.
All right, the China Changchun International Agriculture Food Expo is now open, and one of the highlights is the enormous pumpkin. Weighs 457 kilos. Ooh. It's about 1,000 pounds. It's a whole lot of pies. I wonder if they taste good when they get that big.
I don't know. This is my favorite, coming into my favorite time of year, because we get all of the great big pumpkin stories.
Yes.
And producer Nathan's like, didn't we have this one yesterday? No, it's another one. And then after that all wraps up, we have Halloween, and then they start dropping them on things.
Yes.
Cars.
Yes.
And
we learned last year it's a very specific seed. It's not just any old pumpkin seed and you water it really well. There's a specific pumpkin seed that you have to grow to get the giant ones.
Oh. Man, that'd be one. That's a lot of candles to go into that to make it.
A lot of pumpkin pies for you, who can eat a pumpkin pie to yourself any day of the week.
Yeah, that's my one vice. When Costco puts those out, is it? I don't know.
Yeah, he'll come into work in October and be like, I ate another Costco
How many of you had
yesterday.
so far? I'm at 3, 4, 7.
0 days without
shame.
incident.
Come on.
There's a little bit of shame.
Embrace it.
There's a little bit of shame. There's a look at the city of Bridges. Have a great Monday. We'll see you tomorrow.